Hey, welcome back. Today's going to be episode 4 of my 10-day photo challenge or 10-day photo series. I haven't really decided what to name it yet. It's kind of getting confusing. None of it really makes sense because it's not really a challenge. It's kind of something more I'm doing for fun. I digress. So just drove around for about 20 minutes trying to find a good spot. The next photo is going to be a long exposure photo. So it's going to be at nighttime, and I'm going to try and catch some car tail lights and headlights as they roll by on this road. Okinawa's got a lot of elevation kind of going up and down, so there's a lot of different places that I can go. I just had to find a place that was good enough, like perched up on a hill looking down on a cool road with some landscape. There's about 5 minutes until sunset. I'm gonna go start a time lapse, get some of my gear ready, and then I'm gonna get on it. Hey, what's up? Sorry, it's a little chilly out here. I'm hiding from the wind right now. Couple things that I'm gonna be doing. So it's pretty self-explanatory. I'm gonna be shooting at a super low ISO, long shutter speed. The sun hasn't set all the way yet, so my exposure is gonna be changing a little bit throughout the next hour or so that I plan on being out here. The goal is gonna be to get at least a 30-second exposure. The roads that I'm gonna be taking pictures of are cut through. It's like a bridge that cuts through a couple of farm fields, and I'm really hoping I can get those farm fields properly exposed to kind of show the Okinawa scenery or the Okinawa terrain a little bit. Okay, so a couple quick things I'm gonna go over. One, mirror lockup. So this is mirrorless, it doesn't have a mirror. So interesting thing about cameras that a lot of people don't know is it actually has two curtains. So imagine the back of the camera was the image sensor on the front of the camera. So there's actually two sets of blades that when it opens, so right now it's closed because the shutter's up top. When you press the shutter, one's gonna slide down and then the second one's gonna slide down behind it. So if your shutter speed's really fast, these two blades are actually gonna be super, super close together, and they're just gonna zoom across the picture. When you're taking a long exposure, it's gonna open one, and then a couple of seconds later, or whatever the duration is, it's gonna close the back one, and then they're both gonna reset. Okay, so one of the things that cameras have a hard time doing at night is focusing. So if you're setting your autofocus points or you're moving your little focus cursor around and you try and hit it on a certain spot to record something, it might not always get that focus, or you're gonna get a lot of that focus breathing. It's gonna be focusing in and out, trying to find what exactly you're using. The contrast isn't there in your subject for it to actually find those definitive edges. So you might have to manually focus. Now the thing about manual focus is I forgot to turn manual focus off on this. Anyway, so one thing you're gonna have to do is you might have to manually focus. Now, if you're at a really narrow aperture, it's not gonna be as big of a deal because you're gonna have a little bit of wiggle room. If you're shooting really, really wide open, you're gonna have to spend a lot of time looking through your viewfinder to try and actually focus until it's spot on. I really wish there was some really cool stars out here because that would kind of make this whole picture, but it's been cloudy and overcast for all week. Hopefully by the end of this 10 days, I'll have a cool starscape. One thing you can do is when you get to your spot where you're gonna take your picture, actually get there, compose it, focus it, and then lock it in a manual. And some people have even put tape around their focusing ring to prevent it from accidentally moving it off of their focal point or their subject. This is gonna be a little bit hard to see on my camera, but right now, so if I look at my histogram, actually this is even better. So right here, for those of you guys who don't know how meters work, the 0 is indicating that the picture is gonna be correctly exposed. If this little bar slides left and right, it's telling me that with my current settings, the picture is gonna be overexposed or underexposed. So what you do when you're actually adjusting this is a huge tool. You can, as you make your adjustments, you can see where that's gonna land you according to the meter, and this is obviously dependent on what your metering modes are. Okay, another pet peeve of mine, horizon line. So this one is kind of tricky because it's saying that the horizon is straight. As I look at it, I'm looking at a hill, so it's kind of difficult. I'm gonna trust the built-in level on the camera. If you don't have a built-in level, not the end of the world. Eyeballing it's fine. Right now, it's set up for time. Basically what time means is I press the shutter button one time, it's gonna open the shutter, and then I'm gonna time it on my watch. After the 2 minutes is up, I'm gonna press the shutter button again and it'll close it. One last tip. So right now I'm not using a shutter release or any kind of remote for it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna set my self timer to 2 seconds, just so me pressing the shutter button doesn't add those vibrations to it. So it came out pretty good, except for the fact that there is clearly dust on my lens. So that's awesome. Okay, that's gonna be it for today. Hang on, there's a car coming, keep recording. Had a pretty long day. It was, didn't get much sleep last night. These videos are killing me. They're taking a lot longer to edit and do all this fancy stuff to them. Pretty ambitious to bite off on 10 days of this, but we'll, you know, it is what it is. So I'm gonna take these back, edit them in Lightroom. Appreciate everybody coming out and watching all my videos and the comments and stuff like that. Feel free to like and share this with your friends. Try and spark some inspiration to everybody while we're stuck in quarantine. Obviously, I'm still outside, but I'm 6 feet away from anybody, much more than 6 feet away from most people. So anyway, see you next time. So you probably can't see him right now, but that's my son out there running around the field. I asked him if he wanted to do something cool, and he said yeah. So he's gonna be pretty stoked by this picture. Basically, I set it up on the self timer like I have been for the road, and I'm letting him run around the field. Really, this is just a ploy to get him to go to sleep earlier, get him worn out. But I told him to run all over this baseball diamond. Okay, right now we are light painting in a baseball diamond. This was just kind of for fun. I'm gonna blow my kid's brain a little bit, I think. So yeah, we're just gonna run around like crazy people,